There we go. Perfect. Hello, team. Welcome to another wonderful Tuesday afternoon. I hope at least some of you are getting as nice sunshine as I am, because boy, does that make a day better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. All right, just a couple quick reminders. First, remember, if you've got any aches or pains throughout the class, if we do a movement that doesn't quite feel right for your body, please make sure you let me know, because I'm so happy to adjust it for you. Make sure you're going at your own pace and being aware of how your body is doing. And you should be in either shoes or bare feet, sturdy chair. And remember, this is a virtual class, so any noise on your end, we can all hear. So please make sure you're putting yourself on mute if someone needs to talk to you or your phone rings. Okay. I actually didn't set up my timer, so I'm going to set up my timer. Otherwise, we're going to be doing cardio for who knows how long. And let's start off with our breathing pattern just to get into it. So I'm going to count us off. If you'd like to lift your arms up on the breath in, that's great. Or you can just keep a hand on your belly. But we're going to breathe in for 3 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds or longer if you can. So breathe in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, 4. We've got 2 more. Breathe in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, 4, and in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, and 4. Now what I'd like you to do is making sure you're kind of more at the edge of your chair rather than further back. And I'm just going to get you to kind of either slide or just kind of press one foot away from you. Keep your toes pointed up, and your other foot is going to pull underneath you. This time your heel is up. So toes touching, heels touching, and then we're going to slide those feet. So now this foot is outstretched. This foot is pulled under. We've got our toes up and our heel up. And then we switch again. So it's almost like a biking movement. Pressing one foot away, pulling the other underneath, and then we switch. Good. If it really feels like your feet can't slide at all, especially if you're on something like carpet, feel free just to lift and then switch. But I really want you to get extension in one leg, pull that other leg underneath as best you can. Otherwise, you can just slide them to switch. Good. Okay. And then we're going to do a couple rotations of this movement with your opposite arm stretching out as well. Your other hand pressing back. So your arms and legs slide together. Good. And I wouldn't attempt this standing. This is really a seated exercise. Good. You should feel a little bit of a stretch through the back of that leg, a little bit through the chest and upper back, because the arms are stretching out as well. Last one. Perfect. You can shake it out. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to lift up one leg. Now you can get standing if that is what you prefer. Otherwise, stay seated. We're going to grab underneath one leg and pull it up and then down and switch. So grabbing underneath the leg, pull it up, and then down and switch. Again, if you are doing this standing up, I would be very cautious about your balance and think about having balance support within grabbing distance and lifting with one hand so that your other hand is ready to provide you some extra balance. Okay, so we're pulling one knee up, back down, and then switch. Good. Now the goal here is to build some mobility. So don't rush through the exercise, be in control. I'm doing this slowly for a reason. It's so we can lift, hold, and then down and switch. If you feel like you need to do it quickly because you're standing and losing your balance, you either need to think about doing it seated instead, or you need to think about holding on to something and only lifting with one hand. So slow and controlled is the key here. Otherwise, we're not getting any of the benefit. Good. And I'm going to do just a couple more here. Timing it to my breathing pattern. Slow and controlled. And last one. Good. Brilliant, team. Okay, now what's going to happen is I'm going to touch a foot out to the side, and I'm going to press one arm down and the other straight up. I'm not just lifting my arm, I'm pressing my arms away from each other. Whether you can't stretch out overhead all the way, that's okay. It's actively just pressing away from each other. Okay, and then we switch. A foot steps out to the side, and you actively press your arms away from each other. You should feel that bit of a stretch through the chest and through the upper back. I encourage you to breathe out as you move into that active stretch. Breathe in as you reset, breathe out as you stretch your arms away. Good. And again, that arm doesn't need to lift up all the way. If that is something that doesn't feel good for your arm or shoulder, then you can keep it part way down, but we're still just actively pressing through that shoulder. Okay, so we can accomplish similar outcomes and get the same benefit, but lower any kind of soreness or pain, because that's not the goal of our exercise class. Good. Once more. Brilliant. Now rest there. Now what's going to happen is we're going to have our palms up to the ceiling. We're going to pull our thumbs apart. And again, we're not lifting our arms away. You keep those elbows tucked in. We want that rotation. Okay, that rotation out as you touch your heel out in front of you, and then you bring it back in. So touch your heel in front of you, keep up nice and tall, pull your hands apart, feel that stretch across, and then reset, switch sides, and repeat. Again, it is helpful to breathe out. Although on the exertion here, this is one of those funny exercises where it's actually easier to breathe in on the exertion, and it just has to do with how your respiratory muscles are set up. This position helps your muscles, your breathing muscles, open up your rib cage for your breath. So it is easier to breathe in as you open up, breathe out as you bring your hands back in. Now, some things you might be feeling when we start doing these slower, controlled, active stretches. You might be feeling a little bit flushed, or that kind of rush of warmth in those muscles or around the joints. Part of that is when you go slow and controlled, it works on your nervous system a bit more so that we can impact a little bit of that connective tissue. So those are our good things that we're getting warm here. Good, keep those elbows tucked in, create that W. Good. Okay, everybody will open their hands, almost in that, you know, the cartoon scared position. Ah! Helps if you make the noise too. If you think about really gently pulling your elbow forward to rotate your wrist back and you get here, that should feel different than this. Okay? So that kind of opening up that rotation, see how my body, my arms have created a W? Can everyone see the W? That is a lot different than opening up here where the arms kind of outstretch. Can everyone feel that difference?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a little bit more centered around the shoulder joint, especially at the back of the shoulder. And that movement, as soon as we rotate those shoulders open, I'm going to turn sideways and I'm going to keep my hand low so you can actually see. We often get into this closed off rounded shoulder position, especially with lung conditions. So if we strengthen and open up, that's helping in the long run open up the shoulders and chest to help you breathe with a little bit more ease. So that's why really it's more important than just opening up here, because the shoulder can stay rounded if we just open up the arm versus getting that rotation. Okay, now thank you for your patience in putting up with that. I really do feel like that's an important piece for you to practice in your day-to-day, right? It's just opening up the shoulders, current posture, scared, and then relaxing. Okay, so practice that on your own as well. It's very, very excellent for developing that better posture to help you breathe just that little bit easier. Okay, now get your feet apart. Quick reminders on how to move from the hips. We're going to bend forwards and back, and we're just going to do a couple of these rocking movements. And I want you to think about your chest and chin staying up, and we're just moving from the hips. So you shouldn't feel like you're round. And it is helpful to think about you have a name tag on, and we want everybody to be able to see your name tag. If you let your shoulders come down, we cannot see your name tag. You got to keep your chest up. Might feel a bit pinchy at the front of your hips. That's a good sign. Good. All right. Even though most of you, I can only see you from the shoulders up, it looks like we're mostly moving from just your hips. So now we're going to advance it to reaching down across, up away. Down across, up away. So don't feel like you're rushing this movement. If you're choosing to be standing, again, it's harder to feel if your lower back is rounding when you're standing. So again, please just be very, very cautious. Think about sticking your bum out, because we don't want this, we want this. Okay, so you reach down across, up across, down across, up across, okay? Good, you'll notice I can keep my head and chest up the whole time. Again, we're helping keeping those airways open. We're keeping the back happy. And keeping your head up on any bending over movements also helps prevent you from becoming dizzy. So if you struggle with getting dizzy bent over, that's another helpful trick. And we're just going to switch sides. So now we're reaching down the other way, reaching up across the other way. Excellent, gang. Don't worry, we're getting off to a bit of that slower start with lots of movement-based stretching at the beginning. I'll still make it worth your while, and you will end class feeling like you got a good workout in. That shouldn't scare you, but it should warn you. There we go. Down, across, up, across. Last one. Down, across, up, across. Shake it out if needed. Okay. Brilliant. Okay, team, we're going to get into a couple cardio intervals. Today's goal is 1 minute of work, 30 seconds of rest, and then we repeat. The goal with that 1 minute is to keep moving for that full minute. And if the 30 seconds doesn't feel long enough to recover, please feel free to take more rest time, okay? And again, the first goal is to maintain moving for that full minute. And if you can keep moving for a full minute and it feels all good, then we start to pick up the intensity a little bit. And the goal is to get our heart rate up, which means it might feel like your heart rate's beating faster. You might feel a little bit more out of breath. That is okay as long as you can take a full breath. It doesn't feel like you're gasping for air. It is okay to be breathing more heavily, okay? So to keep it simple to start, we are just going to march. And feel free to raise that arm up overhead. So remember, we talk about intensity. Bigger ranges of motion is more intense. Good. So go at your own pace. There's no competition with anybody else. Make sure it's challenging but doable for yourself. I will give you the halfway mark. Good. Make sure you're maintaining your pursed lip exhale. There, that's 30 seconds there. Good. So past halfway, you're doing great. And this first interval will give you a good sense of, did I push too hard? I wasn't able to finish the minute. That means you need to tone down the intensity. Or I could have kept going. That means you need to increase the intensity. We've got 5 seconds left. 3, 2, and 1. So you've got 30 seconds. Get into your recovery position, which is on forearms or hands slightly bent over. Really focus on breathing out through pursed lips. Yawning is just a sign that you needed a bit more oxygen. Okay, we're going to do each exercise twice before we switch, okay, just to get a good feel for it. So marching one last time. Ready and go. You can choose to be seated or standing. Just if you are choosing to stand, make sure you have balance support within grabbing distance. Good. That's third. Oh, not quite yet. There's 30 seconds. We're halfway. Keep breathing out through pursed lips, gang. Woo! Almost there. We've got 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. 30 seconds. Get into your recovery position. I'm going to use this time to switch out my chair because this is feeling wobbly. And safety is first. So if at any point you feel like something isn't safe for you, it is a good idea to make things better and more safe. I'm in the process of looking for some newer chairs because most of mine are losing screws. All right, our next cardio movement, we're gonna get some lateral side to side. So we're gonna step two. This does mean you might slide in your chair a little bit. If you are standing, we're gonna be seeing a little bit more of a step up and over. Step up and over. Again, feel free to hold on to balance support as you go. Ready, steady, and go. Step up and over. And if a wider step doesn't feel good for your hips or your back, keep the step smaller. There we go. So stepping up and over. Keep breathing out through pursed lips. Great job, everybody. We are not quite at the, oh, there's the halfway. So that's been 30 seconds. You're almost there. Good. Keep breathing out through pursed lips. And as you start to breathe a little bit heavier, you probably won't be able to take your slow recovery breath. So it's perfectly fine for it to sound a bit more like this. But you're still just thinking about blowing out all those birthday candles, not just one candle. There's about 20 of them.
You're kind.
And rest. 30 seconds here. How's everybody feeling so far?
Good.
There we go. So again, remember, goal number 1 is to pick a pace or intensity that you can keep moving for a full minute. And then you can start trying to increase the intensity, okay? But that duration is key. We're doing it again in 3, 2, and step up and over. Good. Keep breathing out through pursed lips. There we go. And that's 30 seconds. We are halfway. Up and over, up and over. Great job. Keep breathing out through pursed lips. Great job, everybody. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Woo! There we go. Make sure you get into that recovery position. Focus on your recovery breathing. Who are my music lovers here? Who likes rock music? Oh, good, because next we're going to get into our drum solo. So what that's going to look like, and if you've got props, you can use props, but we're going to drum a couple of times on our left side. We're going to drum a couple of times in the middle, and then we're going to drum a couple of times on our right side. And we're going to keep going back and forth for a full minute. Ready? Ready?
Ready?
Ready. Okay, let's go. So drum, 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 and then the middle, and then the outside, and then back to the middle, back to the other side. There we go. So just do a couple, kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Feel free to come up higher. You can alternate low and high. Good. That was 30 seconds. Feel free to go a little bit lower. That's going to mix it up a little bit. The last 10 seconds, I'm going to get you to do a freestyle drum solo, meaning you're going to go wild. Points for creativity. Are you ready? And go! There we go. Woo! Couple of seconds. 3, 2, 1. Rest. And I really hope if you're exercising by the window that you had your blinds open for that one, because that was the performance of a lifetime.
They're gonna come and take us to the funny farm.
Swatting
No, they're gonna
flies.
come ask you what you were doing, and you're gonna tell them, I just had my first ever drum solo, and it was beautiful. All right, we're gonna do that one more time. This time, instead of our drumsticks, we're gonna go for the bongo drum. So I want kind of thinking more of hitting the palms of your hand. Ready, and go. Got a couple there, then to the middle, and then to the outside. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Excellent. Make sure you still breathe out through pursed lips. There we go. I think some of you like to go on mute because you like to make accompanying noises. Ba, 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 ba. There we go. And we've got our 10-second freestyle ready. Go. There we go. Keep going, gang. Go, 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 go. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Woo!
Should we be concerned when you decide we're gonna do the bagpipes?
No, you can be very excited. Be very excited. Bring out your inner Scotsman.
Aye.
Yeah.
You killed.
There we go, team. So we've got just one more cardio interval to go. And by one more, I mean 2 more, because we do twice of each exercise. Okay. And we're going to make it full body now, because we focused full body. Then we did the lower body. Then we just did the upper body. And now again, full body. And what that's going to look like is this. This time, you're going to reach up and touch across your body. So that cross body patterning is something that's important to practice. Otherwise, we lose a little bit of it. Okay. And we're going to start in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. So touching across. Good. Seated or standing, completely up to you. Whatever is best for you, but touching across. Good. Keep breathing out through pursed lips. That's halfway. We're 30 seconds in. Good work, everybody. Good. Touch across, and 5 seconds. 3, 2, and rest. Find that recovery position. Make sure the chest is up. Brilliant work. You've also passed the halfway mark for class. Well done. And we're doing that one more time. This time, see if you can kind of clap underneath or just touch your fingertips underneath your knee. Ready and go. So you're either trying to touch your fingertips underneath each leg, or you're touching across to the outside of the knee. Whatever is challenging but doable for you. Good. Great job, team. And that's past the halfway mark. Keep breathing out through pursed lips. This is your last cardio-focused exercise. Well done, team. And 3, 2, and rest. All right, so make sure you grab a sip of water. Now we're gonna have a little bit longer of a rest here. So this is the perfect time to ask a question. If you've got any comments, if you need to tell me about how your body is feeling, okay, this is the time, perfect timing for it.
Wanted to just let you know it's a little easier to exercise in Vernon now because Vernon's been the dirtiest city in BC for so long, not like Kelowna, but now our dust advisory is finished.
Yay!
Thank heaven.
Oh, that's good, Barry. Well, I heard you guys had the street sweepers out, which is perfect.
So do we.
Yep. They just stir up the dust.
Yeah, they stir it up, but then it's settled down. Once it's settled down, it's better, I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. And I've also heard the pollen is really bad right about now, guys, too. We've got a question. Go ahead. Oh, for some reason we can't hear you. And I don't know why, because it doesn't look like you're muted.
Who's that?
Maybe she's got a soft voice.
She's a mime.
Okay, as soon as it gets figured out, just go ahead and ask your question. Sometimes it has to do with which microphone is selected. And if you're on a computer or laptop, that would be in the bottom left where your mute button is. And there's this little up arrow in the top corner by the mute button. And if you click on that, you can select kind of which speaker and which microphone you want to use. And sometimes the wrong microphone is chosen. So I don't know if that is helpful, but the moment you figure that out, we would love to hear it. So while you're working on that, we are going to get into some strength exercises, everybody. And if your microphone doesn't end up working, feel free to just type the question and I'll read it. I'll keep a close eye out for it. And I'm super happy to talk about it. So what you guys are going to do now is you are either going to stretch your leg out in front of you. We're going to tighten up that quad muscle to lift your leg up, pause, and then lower it down. And remember, you actively tighten that muscle hard, think about clenching it to lift up and then down. Or if you would prefer to stand, I would like to see you do a supported back lunge. And support just means you're holding on to balance support. You step a foot back, we bend the knees, and then come up. And let's just do one side at a time. Okay, you've got your 2 options there. So you're either clenching your quad, that quad muscle, that's your thigh, clenching it hard to lift up your leg. Or you are doing, if it's a lunge, if your foot moves, if your feet stay in the same spot, it's actually a type of squat. So technically you're doing a split squat, but doesn't matter. There. Okay, so some of us are focused on just the leg lift, which is great. And when your legs lifted, make sure that muscle is tightened up. And then you relax, and then the muscle relaxes. You can feel the difference between when the muscle's relaxed and when the muscle is activated. Good. Tighten and lift, and then down. Tighten and lift, and down. Good. Now I was so focused on the two different ones, demoing, I didn't count. So I think we should do 20 more.
Oh, on the other leg, okay.
On the other leg. Yeah.
Oh, you guys are paying attention. Oh, okay. Sometimes I want to see if I can sneak some things past you. Go ahead and switch legs. Tighten and lift. And then down. Good work. That's it. And again, if you're standing, make sure you've switched legs. And if you're seated and lifting up your leg, I just realized, make sure you're not leaning back to lift up your leg. You got to focus hard on making the leg muscles do the work. Good. Maintain your breathing. Do those muscles feel like they're getting tired?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. Excellent. Great job, team. We're almost there. Just a couple more. Making sure it's even. Sort of. And once more. Up and hold. Make sure that leg muscle's clenched tight. And then down. Relax. Perfect. All right. Now you need your band. I hid mine behind my chair. All right, feel free to wrap the band around your palms so it's easier to hold on to. And all I'm going to do is hold the band out in front of me. I'm going to pull one arm back, and you're either going to just pull the arm back and then bring it forward, or if you don't have any osteoporosis in your spine, then I'd encourage you to try pulling it back, and you get to turn your shoulders slightly. So think like a bow and arrow. If any of you have ever done archery, it's pull and you kind of rotate that slight little bit. Pull and rotate. Good. Pull and rotate that slight little bit. And that other arm stays straight ahead. Well done. Good. It is helpful to breathe out as you pull, breathe in as you bring it back forward. Good work, everybody. Can everyone see me okay?
Yeah.
It's not dark?
Nope.
The sun disappeared outside, so just making sure you guys could still see me with the amount of light. Switch sides. Pull and slightly rotate. Pull and slightly rotate. It's helpful to breathe out through pursed lips as you pull. And when we go slow and in control, it makes the muscles work harder. We're building up more strength. Breathe out and pull. Breathe out and pull.
It's all about triceps.
It's about your triceps, it's about your upper back muscles like your rhomboids, your lats and trap are a bit involved. It's whenever multiple joints move at the same time and rest, then you're never working just one muscle group. Right? So because our elbow is moving and our shoulder is moving and our upper back is moving, it's not just one muscle group. Versus when we put a hand across our body and we're just pulling our arm down and the only moving joint is your elbow. That's where we look at just one muscle group being worked. And in that example, that is your tricep. So oftentimes there's two reasons you could be feeling one part of your body being way more fatigued. Actually, there's three reasons. Reason number one is that muscle is doing the majority of the work. Reason number two is it could be a weaker muscle, so you feel it sooner. And reason number three is it could be a very tight muscle, which means it fatigues sooner, and then you feel it earlier. So for yourself, you could kind of figure out, I wonder which of those three reasons would I be feeling it in one muscle more so than the others? Does that
I
make sense?
just haven't used them in a while. I guess all of them think that.
Yeah, or again, they could be pretty strong and they're used to doing all the work or the most of the work. So then they get tired quicker.
It's kind of like, when's the last time you did a chin up? I can't do them anymore. I gotta practice at it.
I'm a soccer player. I don't think I've ever done a chin up.
Well, what I mean is you gotta work at it, right? To get it back.
Yeah, you sure do. You sure do. Guys, we're gonna put our band to the side for now. We've done 2 exercises, strength exercises so far, just to remind you. Now you need your weight. And I put mine over here. All right, now from here with your weight, we are going to bend forward. If you're staying seated, get your feet wide apart. This helps prevent you from relying on your lower back. So if you're seated, we bend forward, remember chest up, pause, lift the weight, lower the weight, then pull yourself back up. It's a separate movement. Down, pause, pull up, lower down, sit up. Good. If you are standing, the key is to push your bum behind you like you're closing a drawer with your bum. So push the drawer closed, pull up, down, and then pull yourself back up by tightening those glute muscles, which are your bum, those bum muscles. Okay. If you feel a bit of a stretch down the back of your leg when standing, that's okay. That's a good thing. Good. Pull up, down, and then pull yourself back up. Okay, so bend forward, pause, lift up, lower down, pull up. And down, up, down, pull up.
Oh.
Down, pull, down, pull up. Good. Down, pull up, lower down, up. Okay, whether you're seated or standing, we've got, let's try to do 5 more together. But again, listen to your body. You might only be able, you might need to stop there. You might only be able to do 2 more. That's okay. We keep everything challenging, but doable. Good. There we go, team. Up and down. And we will stop there. There's your reminder that I'm a bad counter. Now make sure you get a sip of water. We are going to repeat all 3 of those exercises. So brace yourself. We're gonna have a full minute of rest here. I'm just gonna double check to see if anyone put a question in the chat. Nope, we did not. Oh, it's actually later than I thought it was. I thought we still had 15 minutes. We only have 10 minutes till the end of class. Oops.
But we didn't start till later.
We didn't start until later.
Yeah.
Started on time.
We started about at about 1:05.
Yeah.
There we go. So just to make sure, well, class vote. Because you know the 3 exercises. So if you did want to do more, you could do it after class anyway. So you're going to hold up a number 1 if you want 1 more set of strength exercises and less stretching. Or number 2, if you want to do 1 strength challenge and have more stretching time. Make your vote. You've got a couple seconds to make your vote. Okay, I'm seeing lots of 2s. Okay, so here is our challenge. And actually, this is going to be a challenge that we do all throughout April. And it's called the 2-minute sit to stand. So in 2 minutes, how many sit to stands can you do? You go at your own pace. You're going to write it down and we're going to keep track of it every week. Woo! Are you ready?
Ready.
Ready.
And let's go. So if you are, you go ahead. 2 minutes starts now. If you're like me and cannot do full sit to stands, you've got 2 options. You're going to push your feet into the ground and hold it for the time. Pick someone on screen for the time it takes to lift and lower. Actually, I just realized most of you can only see me. So you're going to hold down, you're going to push your arms out and in, and that's 1, and then you relax your leg muscles. So push your feet in the ground, out and in is 2, then relax your leg muscles. And that is about the same time it takes someone to stand up and down, okay? So make sure you're counting. We're almost at 1 minute. And it's, if you can only do a couple and then you need to stop and rest, that's okay. Perfect. We've got lots of room for improvement. You're going to see a huge improvement in the month of April. I think that's awesome. And maybe you can only get a little bit out of your seat and then back down. Woo! Count that. There we go. This is the best thing about competing against yourself is you set the baseline. Now we're way past the halfway mark. Well done. You've got about 40 seconds left to go. Good. So rest as needed. That's part of the challenge. If you need to rest 6 times and you only get 10 sit to stands in 4 weeks, we're going to see an improvement. That's awesome. We've got last couple of seconds here. 5, 3, 2, and 1.
Done.
Rest.
Oof.
Done. Now, keep that number in your head. I would love for you to write that down, even if it's something like April challenge, because that is a challenge you can also practice on your own.
Yeah.
Now, the goal to this, your goal is whatever number you just got, that is your baseline. When you practice on your own, if you choose to, your goal is to match or beat that number. And if you are going to practice on your own, you might want to make a note that we do it for 2 minutes. It's a 2-minute sit to stand. And that is our April challenge. And it's long past April Fool's Day. This is no joke. All right. So I'm going to lift up an elbow. We're going to get into our stretching. We're going to get into our recovery breathing. Remember, this is the perfect time to ask questions. Or make comments, or tell us a new joke you learned. What do we think about April challenge?
It's all good.
It's good.
Awesome.
We can do it, Jill.
Switching arms. Absolutely, you can do it. And again, we're not comparing to anybody else. None of you know each other's numbers, and that's great because you're only competing against yourself. And if you decide, you know, on a day you're going, oh, my legs are really sore, why don't you use the band and do pulls instead and count how many can you do in 2 minutes? Then you can have an upper body option and a lower body option. Okay, rest there. I'm going to stretch out one leg, reach towards my toes. Does anyone have any questions about anything at all?
I don't know.
I think doing a tough challenge before stretching is limiting your talking. You guys did awesome. Switch legs. Does everybody have a sturdy chair?
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Too sturdy.
Too sturdy. What does that mean?
Well, it's got armrests. It's one of those old court chairs that weighs 25, 30
Oh my
pounds.
goodness.
Oh, wow. Legs apart. You're going to place one hand just on the inside of the knee. You're going to gently turn away from it. If you want to open up your arm too, you can. The armchairs can be challenging sometimes. Some people find it gets in their way. But
Yeah.
it's important to have a sturdy chair, which is why I changed mine out halfway. That would have been bad. Keep up your breathing pattern. And we're switching sides, gently push. Good. Relax there. Now what I'm going to get you to do is take one hand just gently to the side of your head, and we're really gently going to press into our hand. Just gentle. We're going to hold it for 5 seconds. We're going to do all 4 directions. So gently press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slowly relax it. Switch sides. and gently push 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now your forehead, so gently pushing forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now behind, you can do both hands if you'd like. Just make sure it's not tilting your head forward and gentle press back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to repeat that. Side of your head, gentle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And switch. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Forehead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back of the head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Now let's finish with some deep breathing. So for the end of class, I'm going to now count out a 4-second inhale and a 6-second exhale. Now that is not going to be doable for all of you. And that's okay. Do what you can. Ready? And you can pull your arms out. You can keep a hand on your belly. You can lift them up, whatever feels best for you. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember, this helps you inhale. In, 2, 3, 4, out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and shake it out. All right, take one hand, reach it across your body. Make sure you give yourself a nice pat on the back. Because you did fantastic today. Thank you so much for coming on. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all on Thursday.